In today's video, I'm going to improve Minecraft items. Here in front of me, I have 8 doors, and behind each one of them, there are different items. And the first door I'm going to is this yellow one, and the item I'll have to change will be the book. The book will be very easy for me to improve, since it is very simple, and I believe I will be able to make it very beautiful. I'm here in the 3D program, and I'm going to add a cube here. I'm going to stretch it. Now stretch it to the side, and this size is already good. This will be the book cover. Now I'm going to copy the cube. I'm going to reduce this side, this other one. Now stretch a little upwards. Copy the bottom part to the top, and now copy and stretch this corner. The shape of our book is already ready. I'm going to copy another cube, and I'm going to reduce it. I'm going to leave it this size. It's perfect. In this middle part, I'm going to paint it light gray because it will be the pages. I'm going to make a gradient with darker gray, and finally, I'm going to make a white line to finish the gradient. Now I'm going to paint the cover brown. With darker brown, I'm going to make the borders. So I'm going to outline this whole border here on the side, even this bottom part. To make the book prettier, I'm going to make an outline on the whole cover. And for the cover to be a little more drawn, I'm going to make some lines here to look like there's something written. In this part, I'm going to make a square to look like an image. On the back, I'm going to do the same thing, and I'm going to mark the bookmark in red. And our book is ready, and to get the book, I'm going to have to pass the sword through this horse to get leather. I got leather, I'm going to get some sugar cane, and now I have a book. Look how it turned out here in the game. It turned out very beautiful. It looks super cool in hand. When I press F5, it fits perfectly in hand, and not to mention it looks even better in the inventory. Look how cool. Although simple, it turned out very beautiful, and my score for it will be 7 out of 10. Let's go to the second item, which will be the bamboo. I believe that the bamboo will also be very simple, since its model, which is this bamboo here, is already almost ready. But I can make some changes that will make this item much better. And to start making the bamboo, I made a small square. I'm going to stretch it to this size, and now I'm going to create another, even smaller square. I'm going to reduce it. Leave it like this. I'm going to copy and drag it up, and to make it easier to understand, I'm going to place the texture on this side, this other side, and here. To make the thing a little prettier, I'm going to make a small square here. On top, I'm going to copy, I'm going to reduce it, and to make it prettier, I'm going to put a small leaf on the side like this. I'm going to copy and paste it on the other side. I'm going to fix it. There, it turned out very good. I'm going to copy it on this other side. I'm going to move it up and done. I finished making the bamboo texture. Now I have to get a bamboo. Luckily, there is a bamboo forest right in front of me, and here in front of me, there are several bamboos. Let me get this one here to see. Break it. Good. Let me see how it looks. Look how cool. It fits perfectly in hand, and look at the corner there. It looks like the bamboo is broken. That's a very cool effect, and not to mention it has some small leaves. Wow, I really like this. Now, it really looks like you are holding a bamboo in your hand, because it is like the texture. It is obvious that this one here doesn't have these small leaves here in the middle. It has them here on the item, but I wanted to be quite inspired by the small leaves here on top. But despite the difference, I really like this item. Comment below what you thought, and the score I give it will be 8 out of 10. Let's go to the third item, which will be a book and quill. Now, it started to get a little difficult because I made this book, and it already took some work. Now, imagine making a book and quill. I had an idea. I'm going to make something really cool with this. The book and quill will take some work. So the first thing I'm going to do here is the cover like this. Good. I'm going to duplicate the cube and reduce it to be a sheet. Now I'm going to duplicate the two and move them to the side, and this second part, I want them to be a little turned. So that's why I'm going to rotate it. I'm going to adjust it here to look like this. I created this cube. Now I'm going to stretch it like this. This size is perfect, and I'm going to put the feather texture. I'm going to paint all parts of the sheet, and I also have to paint the side like this. As the feather is serving as a pen to write in the book, I'm going to add some black dots here, and for the sheet to look realistic, I'm going to put a gradient here like this. I'm going to select the color of this book's cover, and I'm going to paint the borders. I'm going to paint this bottom part, which is the cover too, and to make it prettier, I'm going to paint it this color, which is lighter. I added some more modifications to the cover, and to make the book prettier, I'm going to add several drawings here to look like there's something written, and our book and quill is ready. And look how beautiful it looks here in the game when you hold it in your hand. The feather appears there, and when you click, you can even write. When you throw it on the ground, it looks very beautiful. The feather disappears. When it turns to the front, it appears, and when it is facing away, it disappears. Despite this error, it turned out very cool. If I write and sign it, will it start glowing? Ah, no. Look, it turns into a normal enchanted book, but it doesn't stay open anymore. So I forgot to modify the texture of this item. But in my opinion, this is the best texture I've made so far. My score will be 9 out of 10. Comment below the score you give this. Let's go to the next item, and it will be the bone. I'm liking this. Only easy items are coming for me. It will be very easy to improve this old bone. Go away. The bone will be very simple to make. I created a cube. I'm going to adjust it here perfectly in the middle. I'm going to stretch it. I turned it into a smaller cube. I'm going to adjust it here to be in this place. I'm going to rotate it, and this is the way I want it. Now I'm going to duplicate it and move it to the side, and these two I'm going to duplicate duplicate and place on the top part, and this is how our bone turned out. To texture it will be very simple. I just need to throw the texture of the bone block here from Minecraft. Now I just need to adjust it a bit to fit perfectly in hand. I'm also going to adjust it to be perfect in first person, and in the inventory part, I'm going to leave it like this. And to get the bone, I'm going to have to finish off this skeleton. Come here, skeleton. Take that and take that and take that. There, he dropped the bone, and look how it turned out here in Minecraft. It turned out very beautiful. It turned out quite simple, but it was very cool. I'm going to place an item frame here on the floor just to see how it looks in the frame. It looks very cool. You can make several decorations like this with bones scattered on the floor. In my opinion, Minecraft items could be like this. It's totally the game style to have the items all blocky and very cute in this way, because if you stop to look, it's much cooler to have the item all 3D like this than an item all straight and pixelated. I don't even know if that's how you say it, but despite this item being very easy to make, my score will be 8.5. Comment yours below. The next item will be the pumpkin pie. Wow, now it got very difficult, since if you stop to look, the item is round. It has a rounded shape, but the game is all square, so it looks like this, but like if you look at it, it's round, but to make matters worse, it still has a slice in the middle. That is, how am I going to be able to make a round item in the game and even with the slice? Well, I'm going to have to go to the 3D program for me to try to do this. For the pie, I already had an idea. I'm going to create a circle with just one click. It's perfect like this. Now I'm going to have to create a circle on the inside. Confirm and done. Look how crazy this thing turned out. I'm going to move it down and it fit perfectly there. Since the pie has a piece cut out, I'm going to delete these cubes here to look like a cut part. Our pie has a hole right in the middle. So I'm going to duplicate this cube. I'm going to drag it and the problem is solved. And to texture this pie, I took the other pie texture here. I'm going to select all these squares. I'm going to adjust the texture to look cute. The top here is very ugly. So I'm going to select the entire top part and move it a bit. Done. I'm going to change the color of this inside part, and this is how our pie turned out. But I didn't like the topping much, so I'm going to put a small square here. I'm going to put the pie texture on it, and now I'm going to clone it several times and spread it over the top of the pie, and I think it turned out very good like this. To make the pumpkin pie, I'm going to need sugar. So here, give me sugar. It's obvious that I'm also going to need pumpkin and horse egg. I'm going to put all this together on the crafting table, and look how cool this turned out. This is the result of our pumpkin pie, and it turned out very cool. The item, I can't even consider it very round, but it turned out very cool, since all this is made of squares, and it looks very cute the way this pie fits in hand. Looking at this texture makes you really want to eat it. I need to get hungry, but for that, I need to run a little to get hungry. Now I am hungry, so I'm gonna eat it. Wow, this turned out very good, and the score I give it is 10 out of 10. Comment below the score you give each item. And let's see what's behind this door. An axe. The axe is going to be very cool to modify. I even have an idea what I'm going to do with it. I'm going to start by making the axe handle. So stretch this, duplicate this cube, and now I'm going to have to reduce it. This size is good. Now I'm going to copy. I'm going to drag it to the side, copy and increase it a little more, copy and increase, copy and increase. Done. The thing is looking very good. It looks like it really is an axe. For you to understand better, I'm going to texture this side here. Perfect. This here is the axe handle. Now I need to do the texture there on the head. So I'm going to throw this texture here. Copy the texture to this other cube. Copy the texture one more time to the other cube. And to make this axe even more beautiful, I'm going to copy this square. I'm going to reduce it. I have to rotate it a bit like this. There, good. I'm going to throw the texture. I'm going to duplicate this. I'm going to rotate it, and my axe is ready. And to get the axe, I'm going to make a crafting table. I'm going to make a stick, and now I'm going to put the wood here and here. And now our axe is ready. Look how cool its texture turned out here in the game. It turned out very cool. Look, its animation is perfect. The way it stays in hand is also very good. I can even switch it to the second hand, and it looks very cool. I'm gonna throw it here on the floor to see how it looks. Wow, it turned out very good. That top part there turned out very beautiful, since it gives the effect as if it were sharp. Here there is this little rope kind of holding that top part to the handle. Although the pumpkin pie turned out very good, this axe was the best of all in my opinion. It only lacked making all the wooden tools in this style. Penultimate door and the Totem of Undying. The Totem of Undying is one of my favorite items, since it gives us a second life, and modifying it will take a little work, but I have more or less the way I'm going to do it. I'm going to start with the legs. So I'm going to add a cube here, stretch it, duplicate, and here I have the 2 legs. Now I'm going to duplicate it, and I'm going to make the middle part of his body. I'm going to increase it like this. This size is perfect. This one here will be the left arm, and this one here will be the right arm. For the head, I'm going to duplicate this cube, and I think this size is good. Now, I need to make the nose part. So I'm going to reduce the cube like this. I'm going to adjust it here in the middle, and I think it turned out cool. I created another square. Now I'm going to have to reduce it. I'm going to adjust it a bit because this will be the eye. Duplicate. Put it on the other side. Put the eyebrow and rotate it to make him look angry. And to texture it, the first thing I'm going to do will be to paint it very light yellow. I want this texture to be as faithful as possible to the real texture. So to start, I'm going to add several outlines on all the squares. I spent 2 minutes adjusting the face texture. Now I'm going to texture the belly part, the legs, and also the arms. I'm going to texture the side of the head and the back too. I'm going to adjust the back texture, and after 10 minutes, this is how our totem turned out. I have to get a totem, and that's why I'm in this mansion. Where is the evoker? Where are you? I'm hearing the sound of an evoker. No, it's not you. My God, the people here are very strong. He ripped out half of my health. He is right here in front of me. Okay, I'm going to finish him off. No, run. I died. I'm not going to waste time. I'll get one here in creative mode. Wow, and this totem turned out sensational. Here in Minecraft, I'll tell you the truth, I didn't really like these borders here. But if you stop to look, the 3D model turned out very cool. I think if I had made the whole thing golden without these borders here, I think it would have been much better. But I tried to be as consistent as possible with the texture of the doll. But in the 3D form, the texture didn't turn out that beautiful. But anyway, he turned out very beautiful. Look how it looks in the inventory. It turned out very cool. When I throw it on the floor, it stays all perfect. And even in hand, it doesn't take up much space on the screen. Now I want to see how the animation looks when I use the totem. I am at a good height, and I'm going to fall, and wow, look how cool it looks. And the score I give this totem will be 9.8. Last door, and it will be a bucket with Axolotl. The most difficult item was left for last, because besides making a 3D bucket, I will still have to put an Axolotl inside the bucket. But I'm sure this item will turn out very cool. To start, I'm going to add this circle to serve as a base. I'm going to create an arch of the same size. Now stretch it a bit. I'm going to create another arch, but with a larger pixel, and stretch it up and move it down. I'm going to make an arch bigger than this one. Stretch another arch even bigger and stretch it up a bit. I think this bucket size is perfect. Now I'm going to create another arch, but a little smaller, and this will serve as a handle to grab the bucket. I'm going to delete these small pieces here on the inside part, paint it all gray, and to make this thing a little prettier, I'm going to make a darker gradient here on the side. On the other side too, and now I have to paint this middle part. I'm going to make another slightly lighter gradient, and I think that's good. With very light gray, I'm going to do this part here to give the reflection effect, and I'm going to use this texture for 3 items: the normal bucket, the bucket with water, and the bucket with Axolotl. Now I'm going to add a flat square. I'm going to lower it. Perfect. I'm going to put the water texture, and I'm going to delete these parts that stuck out. There, our bucket with water is ready. This one here is the model of our Axolotl. I'm going to put the texture on it. I'm going to adjust it a bit so it fits perfectly in the bucket. It is very small. It doesn't make much sense for the bucket to be this very small size, and I spent more than 10 minutes adjusting the Axolotl, and this size turned out perfect. Look how the texture of the bucket with the Axolotl turned out. I have my bucket here in my hand, and look how cool it looks when I hold it. For you to see better, I'm going to stand like this. Look, it really looks like I'm holding a bucket, and just a bucket turned out very cute. When I throw it on the ground, it looks super big, looking like a really big bucket. And now I'm going to get some water. Let's see. Wow, look at that. Even though the water is very dark in the bucket, it turned out very cool. Now I have to get an Axolotl, and it's a little difficult to get one. I wish it were easier to find an Axolotl. Wait, hold on. An Axolotl on top of the tree? What are you doing up there? Come here. And now, how do I catch an Axolotl? Just click on it. It worked. Wow, it turned out very cool. But the only problem, I don't know if you noticed, is that the Axolotl is yellow, and when I catch it in the bucket, it turns pink. But even so, it turned out very cute because the Axolotl is there with its little hand sticking out. It looks like it's jumping out of the bucket. Wait, when I hold it in my hand, let me see. Wow, of all of them, this one is the most beautiful for me. Let's go, Axolotl. I'm gonna walk a little. How cool. When it's in the inventory, it also looks very cute. Let me see in the second hand. Look, the second hand also looks very beautiful. If I duplicate this thing and hold it in both hands, there you go, guys. I'm selling Axolotls for anyone who wants one. Anyone who wants to buy them, $10 each. I was forgetting to give a score, but the score for me for this one is 1,000 out of 10. It turned out very good. Take the opportunity and watch this video that is appearing on the screen.